What's up? Hello and greetings and how you doing out there? James here. I'm making another video. Having this time I was gonna feel I made a good point about this one video, and it's something that I've never really talked about before, and it's about how this man was saying and how when he go around certain people that people speak to him like he go into a Latino neighborhood, people speak to him, the men and women speak to him. He go around some brothers, they speak to him. When it comes to black women, a certain percentage don't even speak to him. So I'm gonna let you hear this video, then I'm gonna make my commentary right back.
And black women, they act the same in a whole lot of ways. And Latina even had attitude. So I mean, trust me, people in New York, that's their thing for some reason. I just think they're not happy. That's what a lot of it is. Too. Because I guess with them high prices and everything else, he's greeted a little bit different than he is greeted in other neighborhoods. That's for you.
Stop excusing bad behavior. Let's be clear. I'm a city bus driver, first off. I deal with over 1,000 people a day. I go into an Hispanic neighborhood, you know what I'm going to run into? A bunch of Hispanic people. I say hello to the Spanish women, hola, whatever, you know what they're going to do? Out of 50 women going to speak back. It's very rare they don't respond. If I speak to 50 Hispanic men, hey, hola, papa, same thing. All of those men respond. Very rare they don't respond back. I go into our neighborhoods. I speak to the brothers, man. I love them kings, bro. Thanks, Ken. How you doing today, King? I'm good, King. Every damn brother gonna speak. It's very rare they don't speak back. I speak to our sisters, our heartbeat. I speak to y'all, and I can give a compliment. They will ignore the compliment and turn right back around and ask me a question like they didn't hear it. And out of 50, we talking like 30 of them gonna do that. That's a problem. Get y'all ass off y'all shoulders. That's the problem.
Well, he said out of 50, 30 is going to do that. Now, I know location, and actually just from my experience, black people are different in different locations, right? The men and the women, they're different. Now, I would tell you in the South, just my experience in the South, my whole life, if I speak to a sister, usually they speak back. Speak to a brother, usually they speak back. I mean, that's kind of like the culture in the South, but I mean, hearing the way he's speaking Spanish, it sounds like he either is in New York or somewhere around there. I mean, definitely sounds like he got a New York accent or somewhere up north accent for sure, right? But yeah, that is based on location. But you do have some, even I've heard this in the South too, with these modern women that do not want to speak back or thinking you're trying to get at them or whatever. That's not even the case whatsoever. I will say this: if someone is just genuinely speaking to you, it's okay to speak back, ladies. It's okay. You don't have to be hard all the time. You don't have to think someone is coming at you. Speaking is actually something that we always done in the community. But certain people today, I've heard, some women like, oh, why I gotta speak to you? That's weird for me to be speaking. That term weird is getting on my nerves today. You really do. Because it's not weird to speak. It's not weird to smile. Because, we had that in the community. Like, why are you men telling us to smile? That's weird. Like, really? Smiling is weird? Like, where'd that come from, right? But some people today just aren't nice. And if he's out in the New York area, I really see it. Because I told y'all before, when I got back from Kenya, first part of December, and I went to a sister, asked her a question at a restaurant, attitude. Went to even the Latina, because like I said, the Latinas got attitude too now. Don't be walking around here acting like they don't. Like Latinas and black women, they act the same in a whole lot of ways. And the Latina even had attitude. So I mean, trust me, people in New York, that's their thing for some reason. I just think they're not happy. That's what a lot of it is too. Because I guess with them high prices and everything else y'all deal with in New York, I mean, I get it. Shout out to New York. NYC is one of my biggest viewed cities, actually, when I looked at my analytics there. So shout out to y'all in New York, But New York City not for me. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm cool on that. I can be there for a short time, and I got to get myself right back down to the South. I'm like my grandpa used to say, I'm better known. But yeah, bro, you on that bus all day dealing with, you say 1,000 people. Shh, man, God bless you. I think you need to take a vacation, my brother. Take a vacation, because I can just tell you, just my life experience, I haven't had that. And I know they got some sisters out here that's on one, but that's just never been my life experience. So I think, bro, you probably need to come down here to the South. You probably see a little bit better treatment, I will say. Because I've told y'all, if you are going to find a woman in the United States, if you really just want a woman here, and you're not looking to travel somewhere, I told y'all, and I'm going to stand on that. Get you a woman from the South.
I believe
that's
it.
where you need to get them.
I believe
think that's still some of the best ones you'll have
I believe
can get. Because in the South, you know, some, not all, but some still cook. Some still believe in having a family, especially if you get a girl from the country. Don't get them from the city. If you get a girl from the country, that's probably your best bet.
Would you be interested in collecting fire?
Now, I'm going to comment on this one. That's true, because even around the so-called Midwest and East is like that. Even in Ohio, you go to certain places, and I'm speaking for Ohio. Some places in Pennsylvania, Kentucky. You know, you're surprisingly, yeah, Kentucky people are like. I mean, certain places you go, they don't really speak to you in Kentucky. That's considered where the part of the South start. Ohio, you go to Cincinnati, Dayton, parts of Cleveland. People don't really speak to you there. Columbus, it depends on where you're at over here. And it's something that I know is that he was talking about that. Like here in Ohio, around Columbus, Ohio, like certain areas like you wouldn't think that people be like that. Like, for example, Grove City, people are really nice. I met some of the nicest people in Grove City, and sometimes it's mostly white people that be mostly nice, and they talk to you. They kind of kick a conversation with you. Every now and then you might meet a couple older black people that will speak to you. Younger black people do not speak to you. They don't. They are in a whole different world. Especially the young black women. They don't speak to you. Not, unless they got to greet you in the business, they don't speak to you whatsoever. They don't. They attractive looking. You can't tell these young women nothing. White women, it depends. Young white women will probably be more grieved. That's why we gravitate. Some black men gravitate to white women. But some blacks and up here in Ohio. I don't know how about it down south is. I believe down south probably, maybe that's why if anybody from down south, so if you ever come up here and see all these brothers, why, that's one of the reasons why. I don't know how black women are down there, outskirts of Mississippi, Georgia, but up here in Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan, oh my God, Pennsylvania, New York, and don't let them be attractive. They don't even want to step your way. They don't even look at you. Like I said, you might as well just go. And so, but these are the same women that get online and get mad from up in these states that they talk to all these black men talking to all these different other women. But the same type of women won't even, when the black men start talking to them, they'll start looking up and down to them. And probably some of them laugh in your face and think that you some kind of weirdo. Like start busting out and don't be another woman sitting next to them. They'll bust out laughing and get all indignant, whatever. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Unless you have a female with you, females ain't gonna talk to you like that. Now some older women, they may smile in their 60s, 70s. They might, but them anything under 60, they ain't smiling at you. Is she attractive? Her head is like swelled up this big. This is what black women, some of the black women here in Ohio, Trust me. And brothers been saying this for centuries. Like I said, I don't know how to care the black women in the Carolinas. I can't speak on them. Florida, Mississippi, Georgia, but in the Midwest, oh, you can't tell these women nothing. Oh, you can't not tell them nothing. And then, and some of us as a whole, it depends on. You gotta watch what neighborhoods you live in, because, when I was in Cincinnati, when I first moved down there from the Northeast Ohio and moved there, someone threatened to jump on me because they thought I was scared of them. They thought I was thinking of being better than them. And luckily, somebody that moved prior to me moving to Cincinnati. This happened to me in Cincinnati, and I'm the kind of person. I'm quiet. Most people think I have a nice personality. I'm not confrontational. I'm not drama. I don't hang around with people like that or anything. But this has been my experience in Ohio, and I'm from Ohio, and I can tell you this from an Ohio standpoint. When I was living in Cincinnati, Ohio, them folks down there, if you don't go to high school, you don't go to college, you ain't got no relatives down there, bruh, no matter they're black, they're white, they come up on the same umbrella. Some of the people come up under the same umbrella. And we in Ohio, it's like, dating people got their own, the same way. Dating people got Toledo people, they got their own way. And I've been all over Ohio, and I've been, in different neighborhoods and in different settings, and just coming into town about ready to greet and meet somebody, and they just like, man, I don't know you. It's like, wow. And it's like, it's crazy. It's like, really. And then you thinking that, how we think that some of us think that it'd be opposite sometimes. Some white people will speak to you more when we go into predominantly white areas, and whereas black people, they be more stuck up and snobby to you. They do. I mean, that's why I say you can't really distinguish when it comes to that than other people. For real. Now, as far as Latinos, every now and then, but they mostly, maybe because some people haven't been nice to them. But when I went to the Latino church, some would speak to you, but some of them would speak to you. But when we came to stand in the church, if it was they would move far away. Some of them would move. Some, not everybody. And I went there because maybe at first they thought I was a dark Latino, until they found out God sent me in there as a black American, and said no, he's American, because you have Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and other people that they were born here, and some of these people come from New York and different places, and they come here to Ohio, and at first I gotta admit, I was fighting with God about this, because I knew that, being in America, I know how some people are, that we're divided up. Like, we cool with people, but that's as far as we're going to go. We're not going to really interact with you. And most of the time, these particular people coming from New York, they're used to being around, they feel flowing speaking in Spanish. And even though they still speak English, but they feel in their own flow. But then again, I saw some division among them too. Oh yeah, I saw some division. And it's sad that I saw colorism among the Latino population. Dark Latinos with light Latino. That's why I know that's for sure. And certain things that they would say in Spanish. And they didn't think that. And see, this is what people don't understand when let me get this out straight. Even though people can speak another language around you, if we up under God, isn't the God that created all of us, who made every language in the world, don't you think that that he might share some interpretation of what they said about you in that sanctuary. Now, certain things the Most High God lets you know, and you can tell by some people's actions. And really, it starts at the head with the pastor, because he has some bias too. He says some things. At first, he was a real cool dude, man. But one minute he's flowing in the word, next minute he gets on some personal stuff, and it was some personal stuff like, like I brought there was a friend of mine that God sent her in there, and she's a black woman, and she said, Lord, why are you sending me in here? Basically, I don't know what's my assignment here to do. And even though that the pastor has some discernment with God, he knew like something was there, but his cloud of judgment, because we want people to come, but the most thing about it is basically Latino. You know what I'm saying? It's not like every other people are welcome. Like you go to some black churches, and maybe some white churches might be like that. But but there's some people that they really want to be preferred. They'll be nice. They'll put on a church face in front of you, but they really don't want you there. And you know what I'm saying. And they probably don't want other people. And I've seen them do this among other Latinos too. But they know by their personality. The only thing I didn't have advantage, I couldn't understand Spanish that well, but the ones who probably spoke Spanish understand what they're doing, because certain things and certain phrases that they would do would say that. But that's another case. But yeah, that's one of the things that. So it depends. So but get back to all that. That's water over the. I don't go there no more as a church anyway. It's just that people's nature, overall, people's nature is just like that, and it's to the point that I just don't. I mean, if people greet me, I greet them. I'm they shoot a little small, just a little break the ice kind of conversation. I say something back, but some people. It all depends on the person you run across, but it's sometimes it's like that, because you can't say that all this particular people are this way and all particular people are this way. But I can tell you it's the opposite, because you think that black people and then you go among some black people, they cool, but black, when it comes to black people, they if they don't know you. If you live in like an impoverished area and you coming through an impoverished area, you getting that look like, okay, is you about to set up a drug house here? What are you, FBI? What are you, cop? What are you? Black people, when it comes to us, we're the most suspicious of all people among each other. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's why some of us do, and if you don't come up a certain way, give off a certain energy, black people be the first one to test you. White people, sometimes some white people don't do that. Black people, when it comes to some black people, they want to see what you made of. Are you hood? By the way you express yourself, if you don't cut the rug and say a couple of N words and G damn words and whatever, then you ain't keeping it real. But if you talk like you got some sense and you talk somewhat intelligently, they think that's strange. And some will be bold enough to even tell you in your own face, why are you talking white? So now they think that it's almost like like a bunch of wild animals, and you let a human touch you, and then all of a sudden that animal kind of distance themselves because they've been touched by a human. They've been associated with human. Black people, when it comes to black people, when you've been into that decent environment where you have to talk like everybody else, and you don't keep up the hood vernacular, so to speak, black people will judge you. Black people think that either you slow, either you ain't down, and some will try to take advantage of you, and some don't think that you can relate because, because you can tell by the communication when you get among some people, just when you get in the atmosphere, that's the truth. So therefore, sometimes you got some black people won't speak to you because you ain't from their set, you ain't from their block. You got some black people won't speak to you because you ain't grew up in the same block, went to the same school, went to the same, and you don't cut the rug with them. So therefore, you different. So what do you do as a black person? You go out. So when you go out to the among some white people and other people, they treat you like they don't accept you who you are. So that's why and I can understand why some black people I don't excuse it from some act like that way in the suburbs, but I think that's one of the reasons why some of us don't really be among each other like that. Because when you go, and some black people can confirm this, I'm telling the truth. Like if you was raised in the suburb, you can't go down in a freaking city because you know how the way they talk. You can tell by their demeanor. Because hell, you listen to certain people's channel, and you can just tell that you recognize that street vernacular that they talk about, and you don't conduct yourself that way. And then there's certain type of black women respond to that type of way, and they can be very attractive, but they want someone to talk like that, saying a nigga this and nigga that, nigga this, MF for this, MF for that, and they like, wow, he keep it. Well, he's a real nigga. I mean, excuse me for using that term, but that's what we use among each other. When I think about that, it's like you a real street dude. So some people you gotta act like you do. You can't act like you balanced. You can't be a balanced black man. And the only way you be a balanced black man, and maybe in some cases a black woman, you gotta go out and live among other people and be among other people. So when you get around other black people who never been balanced, they've been stuck in one neighborhood, they've been stuck around and their cousins and their aunties, their family, and you get into their household, you can see how the way they kick it. You can see how the way they present themselves. They loud, drama, watching his neighbors out there fighting and everything. It's too boring. Someone got to get some stuff get started. So, and some people, we know when it comes to some people that look like us, that's sometimes we don't want to deal because we recognize that spirit. We recognize, okay, you can tell when somebody about to go off when they're in the store. You can tell when somebody go off when you're like, okay, I know where this Negro come from. These people come from. Not saying that white people don't do that, because even when some white people can spot that among each other. But when it comes to black people, so sometimes we may not speak to other people because maybe, and I think that some of us have developed a prejudice among us black people when it comes to that. That's true. Even though that we going through racism, going through police brutality and discrimination, having people call the cops on you if you ain't doing, and you're a particular person ain't doing anything, and you got that weight against you. So sometimes you do need to take a break. And I agree with Phil. Sometimes maybe take some place in a small country town if you're here in the United States, and go down south somewhere, and there will people act like they got some sense and still get that moral. But no, we don't. When it comes to us Midwestern Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky and all these Pennsylvania, these people, no. Black people is a whole different ball game up here. All the way to the East Coast, yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same way. You see the same spirit. Oh God, it's the same spirit. The same spirit. So it's funny. But when you get around the white people, you like shocked, like dang, hey, what's up? How you doing, bro? Hey, how you doing? And just kind of make your day, just because. And they ain't trying to be close to trying to get all up in your bed. There's just some people individually got a good personality, so they don't make you think like that. and I think that's a God-given thing. But the very ones you would think like that, and then you got like, why do you? And then you got some people like, why is she smiling? Why are you looking at? Because and that's true. When he said the house, you smile at somebody. I mean, if you don't look at it, somebody think you. I'm telling you, when it comes to our people, you don't look at somebody, they think you scared. If you look at somebody, they think you want to you want to confront them about something. I had grown older men that want to jump on me because I was looking in their direction. A grown men. One time I was in Cincinnati driving in my car, and this dude just rolled up to me and said, "I should kick your ass." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I ain't even do nothing to you. What you mean you want to kick my ass?" Black dude. Then I had a dude then I had someone here when I first moved to Columbus. I had a neighbor. He said, "You was like you about to check roast on me." I'm like, "What, dude? I'm just maybe I was about to look over and say hey or give you the nod like what's up, but you got some black people are like that. I'm serious. That like what you looking at? Look at what you're looking at. Now you don't look at it. It's like and so you don't. So some people probably don't acknowledge them because like, hey, I don't know what kind of person, and it's among our people, among black people. See, it's something that some black people don't tell you this. And then we get in the suburbs, and then it's like, I don't want to be associated with them. Because they might think you, because of the way you dress, it's just some people are just funny. And so they take on the spirit. You got some black people out there, they don't even like other black people coming out there. Out there in the suburbs. They more prejudiced than the white people. I can't believe this Negro out here. Damn. Yeah, they pick up the same. Like I said, it's a territorial thing. It's a spirit. I'm trying to tell you. And oh yeah, they won't look at you. So you can't go nowhere. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. So like I said, I never lived down south. I've been to Florida and been through places. I've been to Florida, and it's like people are nice down there. But up here in the Midwest and East, Negroes be ready to fight you, and people just got a demeanor. And like I tell you, now when I was in Cincinnati, I forgot. I think I mentioned this in the past where I met some girl on the chat line, right? And I'm walking through over the Rhine. So it was this one place in over the Rhine down there in Cincinnati. So I'm about to go meet this chick down there. So I'm walking down the street, and there's some fella standing out in front of the building. I'm not making no eye contact with him. I'm looking at the building like, what apartment is she? I'm just looking at the building. Do you know this one dude say, "What the F you looking at? Just come out of the blue." Then he start coming up and want to approach me like, I'm like, dude, I ain't trying to set anything up. I'm just down here to meet some young lady. And I mean, it kind of shook me for a minute. And he's like, you can't. This is what I'm saying. And I told a few people they were shocked, and even some white people were shocked. Like, yeah, black people do this to one another. Even if they don't know if you from that neighborhood, they will do that. Someone you probably will try to rob you, for real, before they'll rob a white person or any other person. Because if they don't know you, you have to have the little. And then someone who was like at the time, my stepfather's son said, maybe you could take me. They wouldn't have had that problem. So you gotta have an escort among your own people. Because if you don't look a certain way or don't come off a certain way, I mean, it's almost like you gotta look crazy. Like, I'm serious. You get up there, you can't look like you're intimidated. It's like you got ready to shoot somebody when you among other black people. For them to not even look at you that way. That's the truth. That is the doggone truth, and we don't want to admit that. Some of us don't want. And some people might not gonna like this video what I'm telling, but I'm telling you the truth. So that's why we don't speak to one another. We don't even like each other. In that regards, you don't even know that you don't even know somebody because, and you be like, and that's why it's over. They ain't grow up in the same block. They didn't go to the same. They didn't go to the same school. They people don't know they people. You gotta know people. Gotta know people. This among our people. You just don't do what they do. You if you ain't real, like they said, real street dude, you got that kind of mentality. They're gonna think something weird with you. And even the women is the same way. Women, you just can't be no regular black dude. It sounds like you educated, you've been around other people. No, you can't. No, when it comes to black people, no. You have to change up. You gotta be intensely aggressive. I mean, you just got to curse a lot, whatever. What you see, some of the people you see on, that's how it is. And some people think they laugh like, well, that black man keep it real. That black woman keep it real. Woo, they loud, they crazy. Like you in a prison somewhere. But when you get around, when you go out in them territories, the rural area, you kind of can bring that down. Well, and sometimes and it's a truth. My goodness, me and my friend John, we talk about this all the time because when he was a little boy, he's black. He was raised. He started out. They lived in Warren, and so, but when he was eventually raised into the suburbs, he still want to be around black people, but black people don't like him because he's been in the suburbs. He's urban. So he's been around friends some of his friends who are white, who like rock and different things like that. And so you carry on the demeanor of where you come from. And see, I'm the only person that really associated. But later on in life, he married a black woman, and she was raised in the suburb too. But when it comes to deal with black people from Warren and Youngstown, stuff like that, he tell me some of the stories like, God, dog. Like one time he was a referee at a football game. He do little inner city and suburban. He said that people in the suburban, if they have a disagreement, it's civilized, and it's civilized. It's all right. He do games in the hood. You got coaches smoking weed. You got people they smoking weed in front of the kids out there. Some of them are dope men on the side. This is what he told me this stuff. Then one time, him and some referees got the call. Their life was threatening. People got all nasty to them among black people. And so that they threatened him over a football game, a youth football game. So he said he don't even want to deal with. So him and the officials, they don't want to go don't want to do no football in the city. This is a black man, and he just say and sometimes the part of him that want to love black people, but he get the ones that don't. Like even recently, his child has autistic problems, and I kid you not, he said every time, he said, I don't know when I deal with my own people, they screwed me over. You got somebody that want to bring their drama to you, bring their home drama. It was one the AIDS. I'm sorry to say this, a couple of them been black women that dated some dope boy or whatever, and then half of them don't want to come. And he said people wouldn't come in, they wouldn't speak to you, and they can't totally disrespect you. And so, and he's the person is the client. But they talk to him like he crazy, so he got amped up and let them know, put them in their place, because some people, and it's like back and forth, and it's among our people, and it's just frustrating. It make him feel kind of prejudiced at times. I'm just telling you what our people do this to one another, and that's why it's big. If you, how can we come as a business and grow as a people? Well, we don't even halfway speak to one another, and then we get in business with one another or work alongside of one another. We seem like we're trying to punk each other down, or just not respect one another. And this is the truth. This is the God's honest truth. Why some people don't support black business, and that's why we don't grow. It's our own demise. It ain't no most of the time. We can't blame no other group of people. It's us. And then it's that crab in the barrel mentality. When some of us don't do business, we're not professional. You know, like I said, we do some, like you should just put up with my crap kind of thing. But when it comes to other people, you business. Oh, how you doing? No, Mr. Jones. No, but when it comes to us, well, we just give you the Negro treatment. And this is among black people. But this the kind, but you know, like you said, he would speak to people, and they, like he said, they look at him like he's strange. They think that when you've been in the suburbs, and some black people got this mindset that they can inferior you. Like it's almost like some black people can inferior you. You smarter than them, and you among other black people, you think you're better than them. How I'm better than you? I can't help it because my parents raised me in the area. And your parents want to choose to stay where they at. We grew up in the same kind of block, but we got a disdain for each other. Some of us do. And I know, you know, sometimes I make videos about racism and stuff and conflict, but the biggest problem is not always white people and other people. It's us. And it's accepting that individually, just because we share this thick skin, similar culture and thing, that we're going through the same battle. We still, you know, as far as the complexion poll, the appearance, when it comes to the vast majority of us, a few selective people that love you as an individual. So I want to sound off. It's funny that you mentioned that though. But yeah, that's what I kind of about. And I never left this country to understand that. But that's got to be a wonderful feeling. If I can not think about black and white and go to some area of the world where people just like me for me and not look at you and not think that you're crazy and not, you know what I'm saying, just respect you as an American. The only time, as a person, as an individual, if I go to some outside of America, man, I would love that. That's why I like listening to stories about black people that travel outside, because it's not just it's the environment here that people are like, wow, and they find you from somewhere else. Even when I talk to some people that come from somewhere else, that I want to make a good impression, that because it's going to be an impression that they're going to tell the narrative about black Americans being illiterate, childlike and things like that. And so I'm the ones like, dang, that no, there's a portion of black people here that are smart. Because I ran into a situation where I was on the job one time, and I was talking with a young man that he came from, he speaks 2-3 different languages. He came from somewhere outside of Kyrgyzstan. It was one of the countries over there, and it was a real good job. All I had to do was drive him around here in Ohio, and he checked the sound towers. And this story is gonna really trip you up when I tell you this. So he we was talking and we was sharing a conversation, being where he's from, and he speaks English, he speaks Russian, he speaks his native language, he speaks German and a couple other languages. Very fluent, very smart man. His wife is Russian. I think he's Kyrgyzstan, and one of those countries over next to that they speak next to Russia, but he's not Russian or Ukrainian, but he's one of them other. It starts with a K. Anyway, and so he told me about this one man that he was working with, this one black man. And the way he told me how this man, he had to work around this one man, that black people, oh my God. You know, some people act like, you don't know about this and you don't know about that, man. Where you coming from, man? And he started, the way he was kind of showing the way the man was acting. He wasn't trying to be funny, but he was trying the way he was mimic. I mean, and I'm sitting like that. No, this dude did not do that. So he was surprised when the next time he met a black person like myself, and I could laugh with him, talk real intelligently, and with good vernacular and with a good grammar. And I don't know what this man, the one that came to that worked with him, he talked like he's from the street, basically. And the dude, and so I had to show him that no, there's some black people. We are good people. We you know, our ancestors that just been over here and be, you know, trying to paint a stereotype like we some, you know, y'all so bold, yeah, you know, niggas be all like no, we can talk. We got popular thing. You know, thank God. But he was kind of surprised, man. Like, you know, you were very nice and gentleman and like a good person, good demeanor. And so I let him know. I said, I hope, you know, when you go and talk to your people, let your people know that we are some intelligent people here. That not all of us talk like that. That gentleman that you had before. I don't know how this gentleman. It's the way he was saying. Like, yeah, man, like, you know, come on, man, you know, yeah. I mean, doing it in his accent and everything. And I'm like, oh, that guy talk to you like that? Oh, come on, man. Like, oh, man. You know, I was like, no, we don't, you know. But sometimes we are our own worst enemy when it comes to interacting with another culture of people they're coming over here and they don't really know us as a people. And then, you know, you in the media and hearsay telling, you know, stay away from the black folks. Why should I stay away from black people? Because, you know, they don't adjust too well. So that's why you get them strange looks when some of us, like, they don't think that you're intelligent. I'm trying to tell you. That's why I say it gets me mad sometimes when I see some acting a fool. And social media is a curse when it comes to that. Because people are like, wow, really, it is like, and then you don't even know what they're telling you about, you know. Yeah, they ain't very intelligent. That's why they talk like that. And so, and they don't want your kids around. They don't want you around your kids. So when you the way you express yourself, like, you know, our people didn't want us to be like that. Our grandmas and pop talk. Well, I know I did. Talk like, you know, you got some sense. Whether they came from the South, whether they came from my grandparents, you know, mom's side came from Youngstown, father's side from Cleveland, but they came from the South. But not to stay in that mindset, that stereotype mindset that there's some people, you try to show other people you're different, but the media and individuals is replaying the stereotype. So that's why some people don't want to speak to us. So that's why I believe why some black people go to the suburb and cut some of us off. That could be it right there, too. You know, but it's like, dang, no. Until you get to really express, you get down, sit down, and it's sad, but it's the truth. Because some people would think that's entertainment, and some rappers and certain individuals, actors and comedians, they don't help it out a lot either. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But, you know, you can't tell a grown person how to express and talk themselves. But yeah, the reason why we don't speak to one another, and because them the reasons. And to some people they're like, that's ridiculous. I know. When it comes to our people from my culture, that's what it is. And it probably because somebody think that you're better than them, or you're different, and you should be different beyond the skin, and they should accept you for who you are. If any people should accept their own among personality, no matter if you flamboyant, whatever, the way your vernacular talk, whatever, you should accept the difference between you, your personality, because that's just flesh. It's just flesh, and you shouldn't have to tell another person and have the common sense enough to know that okay, just because someone been in some part of the United States, whether they in the country, they got a country voice, whether they sound like they in the backwoods of the country or they in a rural area, it's the environment, and black people got to understand this. You know, someone on the backwoods of Mississippi will have a thick accent, like a black person in New York, or a black person in some rural area, urban area in California. But we got something in common. We got to stop doing that and think we're different. So that's the message that I would leave to you. Learn to accept the difference in yourself and respect yourself and others where they come from. And when you come together as a people, then that shows even when other people don't think highly of you, you think highly of yourself. And stop thinking that someone is too nice, or they may be slow, or they may be because they ain't from your part. Stop stereotyping other people, your people, because that puts us a resentment between your people, and you only gonna hurt yourself. And I wanted to say this. That's why, as black people, we don't support. If you get over that, you can succeed. And because some people pick up on that, I'm here to tell you that. So the reason why we don't speak to one another, some of us have prejudice towards one another, and sometimes that light skin, dark skin stuff, come on, man. Brown skin stuff, come on, man. That stuff is that's stupid. You gotta love yourself in all shades and all color and all personality before you can tell another nationality what they should do. In classes and in upbringing, because everybody has something that can contribute just like other people do. And this is what black people have among each other before critiquing other people. You have to learn to love yourself in every different dimension of each other. Because some black people want to come back and help, and they want to help, but who want to come back and help? And someone telling you, oh, you sound like you a square, you lame, you ain't somebody from the hood and all this stuff like that. When they want to come back and help the hood out, but your demeanor, you're trying to take advantage, you're trying to roll dog on them because they've been around people, and you know you're a cutthroat personality. So when we only hurt ourselves, and that's why some of us don't speak to one another, because some of us been burnt. Some of us don't want to come back around each other. See, that's the taboo nobody wants to talk about. And sometimes it could be in our own family, in our own neighborhoods, previous neighborhoods where we grew up at. You can't go back to the same neighborhoods where you grew up at because you're different. You evolve. And when you evolve, people don't like when you evolve yourself. You got some of your own people, your relatives are black. They don't want to see you involved because, you know, they've been drinking and still back in the time, and they got their own little clique and favors and stuff like that. You click with them and talking gibberish. They ain't have no exposure like you have. So that's the reason why we don't connect. Some of us don't connect to each other. It's us. It ain't the white man. It ain't the brown man. It ain't the yellow man. It's us. Until we learn to accept each other, we're going to continually. And we're going to continually spread our seed to other communities. Sorry to tell you that, but that's the fact. That's for those reasons. All right, then, guys, take it easy.